6th of October 2019, Sergey Vaklikov. I continue my video blog, and today with me, this is Ronald from Texas. You already have to know him and remember, because this is already his 5th time for the last 18 months in Russia, right?
That's correct.
Fifth time. So, and now today we are taking a ride by the road of life, and that's going to be exciting. For our trip, we've got the car from car sharing. It's like a daily tariff, 1 day, 24 hours, with a mileage of 400 kilometers, which is like about 250 miles, with petrol already included into this price. So it's pretty fair, I think, right? It's for 66 bucks.
Yeah, so all you need is like a phone app to pick these things up?
Yes, and we hadn't to go to any office like to fill in the documents, like let's say in the enterprise. Well, I just registered through the application. Well, I uploaded my driver's license, my passport, I've got accepted. I attached my bank cards, and I just, select the cards on the map. And when I go to, well, I book the car. When I coming to this, I just say, okay, open it up, and it opens up, and I go. So they right away like charging me, and we go. And there's my wife Albina and Victoria. They are also going because this is a Sunday morning. We're all together now. We'll go to explore the road of life. Come on. Victoria, say hi.
Hi.
Many people are missing you, like telling me, hey, more videos with Victoria. The car is Renault Captur.
All right, we're on our way to the Road of Life, as it was called. It was during the siege of Leningrad. The city of Leningrad was supplied by a ice road over the frozen lake.
This is like the beginning of the road of life from the side of St. Petersburg, an interstate. It leads to Lake Ladoga. In the summertime, they shipped this stuff just by the ship, by the water, and in the winter time by the ice, because the lake getting frozen at winters. Also, by these roads, they are evacuated the kids and women from the city. All the way through the road of life, here is monuments dedicated to the siege of Leningrad. Here is the first of them. The monument to 1.5 tons track, which used to be the main transportation back in those days, that is delivered the stuff and evacuated people by the road of life. Here, all the way through the road of life, kilometer points look like this. This is the real monuments. Hammer and sickle or the star. It depends, it's odd or even. Well, it's like goes the star, hammer and sickle, the star, hammer and sickle. 22, that's the number of kilometer. Дорога жизни, the lettering, that's Russian for the road of life. That's what I'm talking about. The next one with the star. Damn it, the rain started. Damn. Broken circle. Let's stop. Many different memorials dedicated to the road of life all the way through this, but the most significant is the broken ring located on a bank of Lake Ladoga. There's already a Lake Ladoga on the background, which is visually looks like a sea. That's how huge it is. The ring symbolized the siege of Leningrad, which is literally was in the ring of Nazis. But it was broken here at Lake Ladoga, through where went the only road to Leningrad.
We're on our way to the Nowitzki Lighthouse now.
Which is on the coast of Ladoga Lake.
Yeah. And hopefully soon we'll stop and get something to eat because I'm starving. But we need to go to a cheaper place. Why?
Because you're a cheapskate.
That's right. We didn't see the lighthouse.
The restaurant, which is called Mir Mayakov, the world of lighthouses, 150 meters. We go there. Nowitzki Lighthouse is located just 5 kilometers from the Broken Ring Memorial. Its lamp is located on the altitude of 74 meters, what makes it 9th tallest lighthouse in the world. The light is seen on a distance of 41 kilometers. Built in 1910, it was at first the reference point for the riverhead of Neva, and then an important reference point for the Road of Life during the siege of Leningrad. Now, next to the lighthouse, here is a nice camp, the beach, restaurants, hotel, and parking. It's popular as beach around St. Petersburg residents, as the water in Lake Ladoga usually warmer than in Neva. Cafe у маяка, cafe next to lighthouse. That's how it's called. Ronald, look, nice panoramic windows. The menu, both in Russian and English language. Let's say Caesar salads with chicken, $5. Well, just on average prices.
You know, it's just a road, but there's the history behind the road that's significant, and I guess the more you know about that, the more meaning it has. And there's little reminders along the way so that people don't forget.
That's what I call having a great time. We've got a pork steaks. Each portion is only 500 rubles, $8. It's a nice steak made on fire. And 2 kilometers after Nowitzki Lighthouse is the beginning of the Road of Life and its Memorial Museum, the largest exhibition in memory of the Road of Life as inside as outside. The main buildings symbolize the block of Ladoga ice. In total, here is 12 expositions, from the planes, boats, and cannons to electric cable. They mounted through the bottom of Lake Ladoga.
And now we go to the final point of the Road of Life, or the beginning, depends on how you look at this.
A train station. You can come here by train.
There's the train that you take to St. Petersburg. Takes about an hour and a half with about 7 or 8 stops along the way. They're short stops, but 7 or 8 stops. Very cheap, about 130 rubles to make the trip. You can pay either at the train terminal in St. Petersburg, or you can pay the conductor when you're here. A little tip though, you gotta hang on to your receipt because they check it and you can't get out of the terminal without that receipt, so you have to hang on to the receipt. This is the beginning of the Doroga Жизни, which means Road of Life. Kilometer 47.
The next point is located in 17 kilometers from here, from the beginning of the Roads of Life. That's the village named after Morozov, or simply called Morozovka. We go there because there's something like an observation platform to medieval fortress built by Novgorod's people. It's a fortress which is called Oreshek, like a nut, Oreshek. Another interesting location, and that's actually the place where Neva starts, the riverhead of Neva. Look, so many cars. Everybody this Sunday came to look at the Not Fortress. So we were in St. Petersburg, then went to the west through Vsevolozhsk all the way through the Road of Life, came here, Lake Ladoga, and now just 17 kilometers. We are here. This is Fortress, Oreshek Fortress, and you see here starts Neva River, which goes all the way until St. Petersburg. The fortress called Oreshek, which is Russian for nuts. It is located at Orekhovy Islands, which is right at the head of Neva River, founded in 1323, almost 700 years ago by people of Novgorod. What about the Second World War? It had an important meaning for the defense of an access to the road of life from Nazis. Once today we have a road trip. We're just, driving, exploring, but we don't go inside of the places, like we never went to the Road of Life Memorial Museum. So here as well we now don't go inside of the fortress, but we have found that navigation here from the beginning of April until the end of October. Slowly getting back to St. Petersburg, just through another road, and now came to Neva Wooden Park. And here is the mansion, which is called Bogoslovka. Bogoslovka Mansion. It's actually an ethno park located at Nevsky Forest Park, which is just in several kilometers from the border of St. Petersburg. The central place here is a wooden church of intercession, which is a copy of this original church built in 1708. Chapels, bell tower, and more buildings of 16th, 18th century architecture, mostly inherent to northwest of Russia. The park is still under construction, as we can see. In next couple years, we're going to see more facilities here. And look, the entrance is free.
Free, excellent. That's what I like. Free. The best thing of the whole day.
Hi, Doc. 5 p.m. and we already got back to the city. However, for today we've got a lot of nice things. That all is a great ideas for one-day road trips in Leningrad region, not far from St. Petersburg. I and Ronald, we had a great time, and you guys often asking me if you can also join such a road trips. Yes, it's possible. Just message me. Got back home. This is my neighborhood. Also, Ronald settled down nearby. Well, what is your impression about today? One day drive-through.
Well, there's a lot of things outside the city that are interesting to see. You know, once you've covered all the typical tourist spots here, there's plenty of other stuff that's within a fairly close radius. And we've really only begun to scratch the surface. I mean, we only saw just a few things today. I mean, I'm sure there's much more if we wanted to spread
Yeah, it's only
it, circle.
it's only one direction, you
Yeah.
know, because there's many more directions. Yes, so there's direction to Murmansk interstate. There's direction to Vologda region. There's direction to Novgorod region, Pskov region. You know, Finland direction, Republic of Karelia. A lot, yes, a lot of stuff to explore. And this video, even today, gave at least 3 videos for more detailed videos for getting back in the future and to film like more detailed video about every place we have visited today.
Yeah, it's nice to get a mix of you know, the urban scene here in the center of St. Petersburg. Also some of the mix of small villages and wilderness that's not too far from here. You know, the natural beauty of the lakes and the forests and the small villages and the interesting historical sites like that fortress on the island and that old wooden church.
Well,
And I'm sure there's plenty other things to see as well, not too far from here.
I enjoyed today's trip for sure.
See ya.
Thanks for the day.